Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena March 29th and 30th. Brought to you by Big 80 Tires, Great Clips, and the original Super Glue.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
We thank our folks from Next Ag for making sure that we can bring the post-match conversations to you. Greatly appreciated. I'm DP. Enrique Alvarez Clary next to me, and on a night where record attendance, 12,090 in the building, to witness a four-set brilliant piece of work by the Supernovas in finding a way, again, beating a team several times is difficult. Finding a way to beat a team of purpose in a sweep situation on the road after a tough loss. This was a gut check. This was a gut check to find out, okay, exactly. We know what we think you're made of. Now you got to see. And what you saw was, with a slight adjustment of roster, the rotation and the depth of this team showed up once again, and then different players. And listen, if we said we could name any one of five players as the best player on the floor tonight, Rico, we're not wrong, are we?
No, we are not. Omaha showed up. Everyone for Omaha showed up. Like you said, this was a litmus test. You got kind of spanked to end that match against Atlanta. So you come in here, you're facing a team for the fourth time. You're facing a team for the second time in about a week. A little bit less, maybe a little bit over a week. You're facing Orlando again. You make a couple of changes, and you come out here. The numbers don't show domination, but in a way, it felt like Omaha was in control for quite some time.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with nights like this, right? The work that has to be done on short notice. A Thursday night tough loss in a meaningful game, and then you have one day to kind of figure it out, reassess, reevaluate, and then to come out here on a night, and again, with a great crowd, which is always, right? It's its own thing, right? Because there's the distraction, and then there's the energy and the vibe against a team that, listen, we talked about how talented Orlando is.
Oh, yeah.
how gritty they are, how tough they are.
They didn't go down without a fight.
Right? Their length is a little different, right? And it becomes a different deal. It was good to watch Omaha figure out, you know what? We're okay. Not only are we okay, but we're going to figure out a way to get a win at home. And it sends you into a small break because, again, you've got some time coming up. I believe the next match is Columbus.
I believe. Let me make sure. So let's check this really fast so that we don't get that wrong. But it is. They do have a week off in between. So the next match is Grand Rapids, Thursday, March 28th, and then Saturday, March 30th. You have Vegas.
Where is the 28th?
It is home. The next two matches are home.
So they
home finish off the month at home.
We're home on the 28th, and then home on the 4th,
30th, March 30th, and then on the road April 2nd to San Diego.
Why did I miss that? I don't know. Why did I miss that? Well, here's the thing. So let's go through it. In the first season of this thing, that Omaha swept Orlando. That is such a big, huge statement because, as we said before, if the playoffs started tomorrow, we wouldn't be surprised. Now, we got two 4-4 teams sitting at 3-4 each, and that will work itself out. But this is a good enough Orlando team to be a playoff team. Is that a statement of truth?
That is a statement of fact. This Orlando team is going to give everyone in this league fits. It just seems as if Omaha matches up better against Orlando than they do against just about every other team in the league. Maybe I can say that because they played them 4 times, but I don't see many other teams going 4-0. I didn't see Omaha going 4-0 against anybody, let alone Orlando, who, as we said, is extremely athletic, extremely talented. But the matchups just seem to favor Omaha as they win in 4 sets in 3 of the times they face and 5 sets down in Orlando in the 3rd time they match up. Look, you've said it before. This is a professional league. This doesn't happen very often, regardless of the league. So Omaha sweeping Orlando 4-0 in the first inaugural season of the Professional Volleyball Federation. That sends a statement. I mean, Omaha was picked to finish as the best team in this league, and they just flex their muscles on one of the teams, saying, "Look, you've never beat us."
Well, it's a thing, right? So to understand that the Supernovas have beaten Atlanta. They've beaten Grand Rapids. They've beaten Orlando. They beat Vegas. And they beat San Diego.
They've beaten everybody but Columbus.
It lets everybody know they can get got. It lets everybody know that they can get got. And, again, in a tough situation. Because, again, I had some concern that there would be a hangover from Thursday night.
You are not alone.
Right? That. And it's not doubt, but it's just human nature.
Yeah.
That when you put so much into a thing and then you just have a tough night where they really didn't have a lot of answers.
No.
There were not a lot of answers in play.
You were doing everything you could, and things just weren't working out well for you. We heard from Gina where they were trying everything that they were doing everything that they normally do. It's just, you said it earlier, it was just a bad night to have a bad night.
Well, I in this league, I think it's a thing that happens, and you have to honor that through all of what happened. After the toughest night in this team's season, Thursday night was the toughest night that this team has gone through to date.
Mm-hmm.
What happened tonight, and kudos to Omaha, because on the slow night, on the tough night, after a loss, more people showed up here to watch the Supernovas than in history. Look, give full credit and flowers to the fans of Supernovas Nation, because what they did tonight, not only in showing up, but then the presence, the noise, the energy, the volume, and the consistency. This is a knowledgeable volleyball crowd.
They know.
Right? This was knowledgeable. They knew when to stand. They knew when to rise up. They knew when, look, this was a big moment that could change everything. Look, if we said 3 months ago that there would be 12,000 plus fans watching pro volleyball in Omaha, we were shaking our head.
Yeah. Like that's not to be negative or anything. It's
Oh.
just 12,000 people is a lot of people for a new league to pack into a stadium, to pack into an arena. Yes, the CHI Health Center is, I believe, it's the third largest in terms of capacity for the Professional Volleyball Federation in terms of seating for all of the teams. But I also believe that it's one of two that actually opens its second level. Atlanta doesn't open its second level. Columbus does. Columbus opens its second level, and that's why they have the largest. But Omaha opening the second level and packing 12,000 people into here after, like you said, a tough loss. I mean, how many times are you going to be able to say in a new league, a team puts up a fight, but in the final game, maybe other sports, it'd be like the last few minutes, they just get spanked. And the fan base goes, you know what? We're going to show up in full force for this next match, but we're going to show up in full force as to break records.
And this could have gone horribly wrong.
Yes. There were look,
to know how
fighting.
big this is, right? How big this is that they found a way to win tonight. Important wins are always important. Crowd respect and presentation matter.
Mm-hmm.
You put on quite the show. You put on a great event. You had a dance group that now they're coming back to take pictures who performed early. Stunning national anthem. You dressed up the building for St. Patrick's Day.
You changed all of your graphics to green. Your all of your Supernovas graphics that are normally blue, they were green.
You put everything into this thing, and the fans showed up. What happens when the people who were here tonight walk out of this building and they tell people what they witnessed tonight? I would think that the next home game, the numbers go up.
We talk about fan experience for a lot of sports. The Omaha Supernovas fan experience is top notch.
Yeah.
In comparison to the rest of the Professional Volleyball Federation, the Omaha Super, and this isn't, just because we're on the Supernovas radio network. Look, we've been everywhere except for San Diego, and I would put Omaha's fan presentation, their presentation in the arena, up against anybody.
Oh, in full.
Easily.
In full. And you want people to know, if you're around the country and you have an opportunity to show up and be involved in, Pro Volleyball Federation action, you can get to an arena to see the action live, do so. Like I listen, the great cosign is that now we're able to say, this is the quality of what's going on. This is the level of what's going on. Level of play is top notch. The level of game presentation, fan experience across the board. Omaha is doing it at a level that everybody else should target and pay attention to.
You talk about level of play and kind of getting back to the match. Betty De La Cruz, one of the stars that the Omaha Supernovas signed, and one of the people who everyone was excited to see play, showed up in full force tonight. This might not have been her in terms of statistics best game, but in terms of the swings that she was taking, the impact that she was making on this match, she went full force into this one.
Let's get the QB in here. Let's get the quarterback in here. Let's get her in here. And this is exceptional. We do want to give full credit, because as we watch, and we have the responsibility of trying to set up matches for what we think is going to happen. And the name that we keep popping to is that Sydney is going to have to create an environment in a tough night, on a bounce-back night. This could have got away. The toughest night in team history was Thursday night. One day to figure it out, to reprocess, rebrand, redirect, figure out how are you going to approach. And on a night where 12,000 plus showed up for you, you led this team in every way possible. So let's welcome Cindy Haley to the post-match show. And Cindy, first of all, congratulations. My goodness, what a night.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think, first of all, coming back after Atlanta, this was a big game for us, and I was really excited to see how we would respond, since that was a pretty bad loss the other night. And we had one day, like you said, to turn it around. But I think everyone came in with an attitude that we're going to bounce back. We're going to start out strong. And it's also really hard to beat a great team 4 times. And I mean, Orlando's a really, really great team. And now we've beat them 4 times, which is crazy. But who knows? We might see them again if we both end up in playoffs. You never know. But props for Orlando. They played a really, really good game.
What was the message? Take us back. What was the conversation amongst teammates Thursday night? What was said Friday morning? How were you going to redirect this thing and get it back?
Yeah, I think one of the big things we talked about is finding a way to problem solve on the court. If something like in our scouting report is not working, let's figure it out. Let's change something quicker so that don't keep scoring the same way over and over again. But I think it was just mentality too. I think we're a little bit too relaxed. And I think if we come out with the urgency that we came out with today, that we're going to be a really hard team to beat. And I mean, Atlanta's a great team, and in sports, you're going to have games where you don't play your best. So, I mean, we didn't need to freak out and say, we need to change everything. We're still a great team. So we just need to get back to what we were doing and play some good volleyball.
This is how I know she's a great leader. She used the word that I tie to leaders, urgency. And being able, and I said, Rico, and we were talking about it in match, that when Omaha plays as though it's 1 point at a time, every point is the most important point, you're really difficult to beat, and that energy that's required. But you made decisions tonight that we applauded out loud. There were some tough situations, some tough matchups, and you kept dialing up the right person to feed. Whoever was hot, you got them the ball wherever they needed it. Look, this was an impressive night. What were you seeing that made it so? I mean, you were so fluid tonight. It was really cool to watch. You feed everybody and keep everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, props to my passers because I felt like they put me in a good position to be able to set whoever I wanted to. And then I think I just kept going to the hot hand. I mean, there was times when Nia was the hot hand, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to feed the beast here. And then I'm like, okay, Betty's on fire. Let's get her going. And then once they start going with our pins, let's get the middles involved. I mean, Orlando's a great blocking team too. So we had to find ways to be a little bit more creative, running different routes behind, whether that's an A, B, or C, and some rips with Brooke. So we were just trying to be creative. And I think passers did a phenomenal job putting me in a great position to set everybody.
Is Orlando the longest team at the middle? It just seems like they make it difficult. The lanes are more difficult, and they vary from point to point.
Oh, for sure. They're great blockers, and they read really well. So, like, if I start showing where I'm going to set, they read it right away. And Shina, their opposite's also an amazing blocker. So they have some big blocks up there, and Adora is a solid block. So I think we just had to be creative and find ways to use shots and go off hands, tip shots. And I think our hitters did a really good job of doing that and showing their range tonight.
On a night, again, in front of 12,000, we had questions. After the tough night in a good crowd, how many people are going to show up on a Saturday when there's lots going on, there's tournaments going on, that sort of thing? What does it say to you, and how does it make you feel that 12,000 plus showed up and they were active? This was a cool crowd. As a matter of fact, I said it on air. This was the best crowd we've seen all year in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
I agree with that. I think they brought so much energy, and it just makes it feel like such a home court advantage. It's one of the huge reasons why I love Omaha is because people love their volleyball and they love us, and it's so awesome that they show up every single night. I think it's just a really fun environment to play in, and I know other teams feel the same way when they come and play here. They're like, wow, like that's really cool. I'm hoping one day that every team will be able to have as good of an environment as we have, but we're really lucky here.
It's really cool to watch the engagement. We talked about being in Orlando and watching the fans stay for an hour just to hang out and meet. Look what you've done, that you've created this space for young people. One, they feel safe. Two, they feel like, you know what, I can see myself in that. You're doing a heroic thing in your lifetime. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful for this opportunity. I mean, even in college, I didn't even think that this would be happening. But I think the coolest thing is when you talk to a little kid who's like, hey, I want to be a supernova when I grow up. And I'm like, that is so awesome. We're creating visibility for professional volleyball in the States. And I think that's just amazing.
Rico?
You say that and you're talking about the engagement and everything. And I know you're locked in, so you didn't notice it, but you were asking the question, you were watching him. As the teams were walking by, there was about 5 or 6 little girls who stopped. And I just reading their lips like, oh my gosh, that's Sydney. Oh my gosh, that's Sydney Hilly. And they're like, "Who?" And then, they were going somewhere else, but that's what you're doing. Like, even despite going to a rival school in Wisconsin and showing up here, they want to be Supernovas. They want to be just like you. And that has to be an amazing feeling.
Oh, it really is. Because when I was playing volleyball, I didn't really have those role models for professional volleyball. I mean, yeah, there was stuff overseas and the Olympics, but that was pretty much it. So like your role models were like college volleyball players, but now it's so cool that they can see professional volleyball in the States. It's just an incredible opportunity. I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
It's really hard for us to say, well, who do you want? Like, bring us everybody, because this is a night where everybody had a night. Everybody balled out. Listen, you could say any night that Kendall was Wonder Woman again, right? She's everywhere, covering everything, whether by land or by sea. Kendall's going to get to it, and you're going to have to make a play. Betty on serve being wonderfully Betty. And then watching, my goodness, Nia Reed sat and waited. She waited for her time. Paige waits her time. She stalks it. What I'd love to know what the conversations are before match about who's going to start, who's going to play, to create a team where you guys support each other in full. It's got to be on purpose.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, you've seen our practices. They're so competitive. Everybody's balling out and everybody contributes. And so we know that if we do need to make a change, they're going to be ready because we've seen it at practice. We have ultimate trust in them that they're going to come in and do their job. And it's hard not starting. It's hard being on the bench, but I think people have really bought in to this team mentality, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to help the team win. And when it's my time, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to ball. But at practice, I'm just going to compete and do my best and see what happens. So I don't think there's ever like a set like starting lineup. It's like whoever is on. And that's the great thing about having so many great players on a roster.
I want to give you credit because some nights it's Naughty and some nights it's Sydney. And either way, you both represent the Supernovas in the best way. You support each other. You lead through example. Bravo and well done.
Thank you.
I'm really happy for Omaha fans to get to be able to do this, but for you all to be able to build this, to be the foundation and the future of this thing. They picked the right people. Well done, Sydney.
No, thank you so much.
Well done. We'll throw it back. We'll come back. We'll get Coach Bird and fire this thing up for the post-match show. Again, we thank you all for hanging out with us here on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. Your home for always 72-degree weather and no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for the Masters in April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
3-1. Supernovas sweep the Orlando Valkyries. They win 4 of all of the 4 matches tonight. 3-1. The Valkyries take set 2, and then Omaha does their thing. And again, so many role players who stepped up, and so many star players being star players. At the top of the list is Betty De La Cruz and her ability to finish. Betty was exceptional, and it's good to see her so active and involved in her space.
Betty De La Cruz finishes with 13 kills on 37 swings, hits 270 on the night, while also chipping in 2 blocks. She was active all over the place tonight, and she started a little slow. The offense wasn't going her way early, but as the match went on, as Betty got a little bit more comfortable, they left her in the match, she started waking up. She started heating up. And then late in the 3rd set, early in the 4th set, Sydney Haley was talking about it earlier, feed the beast. Betty was on fire over here on the left side of the net and was just hitting it hard, cutting it across the court, tipping it over, blocking shots. Just an active member of the Supernovas tonight, Betty De La Cruz was.
It looked like it started that Tori Dixon was the fire starter, because Tori got them out of the gate, and Tori made plays. And Tori then got on fire on serve. Is she the underappreciated, underspoken value of this team?
It's strange because when Tori gets a couple of kills early, she'll chip in a couple of blocks. Usually Omaha starts rolling. It's feeding the middles. It's something that we've talked about, but it just seems like with Tori, once she gets going, the rest of the team gets going. It does seem like she's a bit of a fire starter for Omaha, because look, she's not as like when Christina tonight got a couple of blocks, got a couple of kills. She's getting excited. She's telling the crowd to get into it. Tori, she gets a block, she gets a kill. She just turns around with a big smile, gets in the huddle. So it's a quiet fire.
Yeah, I mean,
which I've never heard of a quiet fire, but that's Tori.
Well, I mean, to understand it, right, that Tori is players like that you call the foundation, because they simply steady everything and allow everything else to work around them. And when required and when needed, she got busy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she got busy. She got busy defensively. She started to make plays. But we talk about the middles, and Christina was better offensively than we've seen her.
It's been a couple of matches for Christina where she's, early on, she was still getting used to the team. She got here late, but she's more known for her defensive prowess, which is something that she's shown every single match. But the last couple of matches for Omaha, as they've been going towards the middle, they've also been going towards Christina, and she's been She loves those quick sets. She loves getting up quick and swinging quickly. Her and Tori have some of the quicker arms in the middle, some of the quicker arms on the team. And Christina, when she gets going offensively, it only feeds her enthusiasm defensively, because, look, she doesn't have to jump to block a shot. Her arms are so long that I believe her wrists are at the top of the net. But when she jumps, when she gets up, she's getting her entire arm over the net. It's both arms over the net. So once she gets going and gets fired up, it's almost lights out for the opposing offense.
As a coach, I would tell my players that the celebrations need to be under control. But as a broadcaster, I love watching her celebrate.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Right. I love watching her celebrate. I love watching her find her groove and to move it along. And nights where Kendall does everything, and you want to tell Kendall she does everything, because it's heroic, and it's not exactly the points that you pay attention to the most. But on a night like this where Nia Reed just shows up, and I think it's fair to say that Nia established herself more in full, that she is a regular player and a valued player on this roster.
I mean, you said it, and Sydney answered it. Nia just sat and waited her turn, and she finally got her opportunity to start, and she did not let that go to waste. As Nia Reed tonight ends up with 11 kills on 45 swings. She hits 120, but those 11 kills were big. She finishes with a double. She has 10 digs. She's getting active defensively. Again, waiting for her turn and makes the most of it.
It's wild too, because again, now sitting at 8-4, and again, as we learn the culture of the Supernovas, how they work and how it happens, listen to what, and I need to really highlight it, that after a tough night on Thursday night, Coach Bird decided to change the lineup and the rotation. Nia goes into the first rotation. Jess Shapen-Landsman takes a seat. We didn't see Jess tonight.
We did not. We didn't see.
And
there weren't any major substitutions.
Naughty didn't.
There was just the
play.
the sub in to serve for Kendall White. There was Paige coming in a couple of times to serve. No major substitutions, but that also goes to the credit of Omaha, where everybody that was on the court, everybody that started, was contributing at a high enough level that Bird didn't feel the need to dip into her bench. Which, look, if she dipped into her bench, it wouldn't really matter. The bench is fantastic.
No Maggie, no Allison. It wasn't required, necessary. Paige Briggs came in. Of course, she finished at the end of the game on serve, so that was the thing that was important. But for Coach Bird to make the decisions, and again, we said, I know how difficult she took Thursday night.
Oh.
And I find great resolve in the fact that she didn't stop pressing buttons. She didn't question how she was pressing buttons. She did what she does, and she picked the right buttons. And look, the rotations were cut down, and quite frankly, a pretty good night. A
really good night for Omaha. Again, as they sweep Orlando, a tough team to play. They don't have to dip into the bench, and it's great that we've heard it a couple of times. And Renee, Coach Saunders, has gone to practice where she comes back and she tells us, look, this player's playing really well, and Coach Bird will tell us this person's playing really well, but our lineup is kind of set, and they just didn't have a chance to get in. Well, we've heard that Nia Reed has been practicing really well for a couple of weeks now, a couple of practices now. And, we can't overstate how amazing it is that she waited her turn, didn't pout, was on there helping coach. And also something that I don't want to go without being said is that I think it was the second set. I don't remember the set exactly, but there was a timeout called. And we look over as the Supernovas are huddled up, and Jess Shapen-Landsman pulls Nia Reed out of the huddle and is coaching her up, is telling her she was on the left side. So it must have been the second set. She's on the left side, and she's swinging into the middle of the court, hasn't gone line quite yet. Jess Shapen-Landsman's, talking to her. I see her pointing to the other side to where she's swinging and kind of telling her, go line, you have to go here. And that's amazing to see with this team where, look, you got benched and this person came in to take your spot. Benched is a harsh word, but you were put on the bench and this person came in to take that spot, and they're not pouting. No. They're not sitting on the other side, just, waiting in the huddle doing. She's over there, pulls her to the side, and is coaching her up. And that's what this team is.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. And as you said, okay, Grand Rapids is coming. Columbus is coming. You do have a week, and you hope that they do not lose anything. It will certainly help that they can heal, rest, recover. I'm going to try to effort to make sure that we get them down to Lincoln.
They got a week off. I mean, what else are they going to do?
Get them to Lincoln so they can meet everybody and we can kind of expose them to it. But yeah, it's a great night. I think, Rico, we have done our thing for this evening.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to press Coach Bird to stay. And apparently the building has things that they need to get done.
I think they're getting ready for next week.
Yeah, so there's a thing that's in place, right? You've got the tournament coming, and it's a big deal. But for the folks who make this happen, again, our sponsors who help make this happen, our affiliates, across the Supernovas Radio Network, all of our partner stations. Ben back at the mothership.
Thanks, Ben.
Making sure that we get through and get in and get out on time. Rico, thank you very much. Coach Renee Saunders, we missed you. We know you had a good time tonight. You deserve the night off, but we will see you in a week or so, and we'll come back at it. Again, Supernovas win it 3-1. They improved to 8-4, and it's a great win on a magical night in front of 12,090 Supernovas fans.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Rico, job well done. Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you.
Ben, we will throw it back to local programming here on 93.7 The Ticket and the Supernovas Radio Network.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new